pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank everyone for coming tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
I'm here, Mrs. Miller.
Well, I'm honored that you're here, dear. Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Tatro, Water Sewer Superintendent. Mr. Barrow, Highway Superintendent. Mr. Gwinnett, Zoning Officer. Mrs. Nerscott, Historian. Chaka, our Dog Control Officer. Krista Marino, our Recreation Director. Bill and Carl, Ann Barber, Confidential Secretary to the Board. Mr. Favreau, our Attorney. John Ryan.
And Diane, our text.
Thank you, Diane.
Clerk. Okay, thank you. I need a motion and a second to accept the minutes of regular board meeting of June 12th.
I'll make the motion.
Craig makes the motion. Nell second. All look good. Thank you, Diane. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, community input. Anyone sign up?
No, thanks, hon.
Okay. Get right to Alex Gibson with your proposal.
Hello, my name's Alex Gibson. I own the property at the end of McGar Road. Got a picture if anyone's interested. That's the farmhouse. The property is out here by the McGar Road and it's an extension. That's where the property line goes. This is currently where the town plows. It's an area that's 250 feet long and 50 feet wide at its widest. And proper snowplow turnarounds are supposed to be at least 20 by 60 and come off of a road, so essentially giving you almost 80 feet. This area, it doesn't leave me a lot of room for any type of equipment logging. I'm looking to get 15, 20 tons of lime dropped off for the fields up top. And I'm just trying to reclaim this land. There are two options, which is a 1,600 square foot area out here. There is a slight grade to it, so I had, thanks sir, I had Ed Garrow go up and give me an estimate as to material costs for filling that area in. With pavement, it came to $6,000. That's with 6 inches of pavement on the new area. I think that's a little overkill. He quoted me for 4 inches, 2.5 inches of dense binder, and 1.5 inches of top coat. But I wanted to make sure it was over and above. The other area, as you can see from here, the 1,200 square feet in purple is on an access road that's on my property. It would involve the town would still have to keep this area, which is 2,500 square feet that's currently paved, and they have to top coat that when and if they're going to take care of that area. That's the second area that I would entertain, that I would like to have it moved to. If we can't have it down below, I would really like to have it down below so that it's totally off, it's not blocking the access road, and it's almost off the property in total. If I could show this.
So if we go, can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
If we go with the 1,600 square foot, we don't have to do anything to the other end, to your end of the road? Is that what you're saying?
I'd love it if you'd repave it for me all the way to the farmhouse, but it's a mess, and I'm fine if the town wants to totally leave it like that. Pavement's pretty broken up there. I think it's to the end of its life, but I would gladly, I'd probably end up flipping it up and just putting a little crushed stone down, and that would be the end of that. It'd be back to a country road. This is a survey from 1990. It was from my neighbor. It's difficult to see. I included one with the packet, but it showed the town's right-of-way. I realized that the town can take the land with the highway law, and they can go ahead and use like eminent domain essentially to take the bigger piece of property from me. But you can see that the McGar Road, the town right-of-way, ended right where my neighbor's property started, which is right about the tip. You can see this road that comes off. It's right about the tip of this. So that would still be on my property. I'd be happy to donate it. I'd be happy to try to have someone write the easement for it and do any work. I do have a good-sized tractor up there. I'd be happy to spread any fill or help out wherever it was. If there's no way that the town will do it down below, then I really request that they do it on the access road, which I think they can get their full 20 by 60 with no problem. There's plenty of road there. There's plenty of room there. A lot of work was already done to that because Henry Dashnaw had his property logged, and he used that access road, and he had Rob Wright come up and extend the culvert. They brought in a bunch of crushed up blacktop and basically reshaped a half-mile road so that they took 120 tractor trailer loads down that road to have his property logged. So I think that turnaround area in purple is pretty substantial. Still going to need some work. I had Ed Vero draw that up. As far as my presentation went, I was unsure of how deep or how thick Mike would be repaving the McGar Road. I wanted to quote it. I left the quote at 1.5 inches and 2 inches. I really don't know what it will be top coated out. I was trying to give you like an apples to apples comparison. The 7,500 square feet top coated with 1.5 inches or 2 inches or 3 inches. I'm just not sure what it'll be top coated with. And then I also tried to make sure that my estimates were high. I think 4 inches would be enough on the new areas of blacktop. The quotes I have in the packet were for 6 inches of blacktop on those new areas. So I just wondered if you could, I know you talked about it before, I've been going at it, I looked at my email, it was from June of 2021 was one of the first emails that I sent Mike about this. So I know you've all talked about it before. I tried to include, it qualifies for all the New York State paving grants, the CHIP program, pothole, Pave New York. I included all those in there. It even says you can double dip on the emergency winter recovery program. It says you can apply for that first under highway reconstruction and then also receive the money under the CHIPS program. I included in the packet that I looked on the DOT site for the width of the roads. I checked a few roads around town and they were all accurate. Coincidentally though, the McGar Road was listed at 16 feet and it's 18 feet. At 3,000 feet long, they could keep the same CHIPS money that they currently have even if they decided to put the turnaround 7,500 square feet back to my preferred location. It would be less if it's in the other location because it's further up the hill. So that's all. I really wasn't looking for a decision tonight. I just wanted to provide you with the information. I can leave. I got even more than in your packet, but I didn't want to bog down all the stuff. So I could leave the bigger pictures, the bigger survey, and all the information I have on highway programs. And maybe you could give me an answer at the follow. I know the next one's canceled, but maybe the next one. I'm not looking to step on anybody. Like, if it's next year, if we can just work it out, I don't care if it's 5 years from now. I'll make things work until then. But I just wanted to see if we could get something worked out.
I gotta tell you, we've gotten way better since 2021.
Yeah, I was a little sloppy. I went about it the wrong way. I think in the beginning I should have been more formal with my presentation and such.
Yeah, it's pretty
It was a mistake on my part, so I apologize.
Mike, you had a chance to look at it?
I just got it, so, my argument, and it's not an argument, but we still gotta figure out, I said this over here, is it turn around town property or is it Alex's? But I can't tell you, and then tell you the drivers that come up there, we definitely do not want to turn around on the lower end. I would entertain the upper end, that the access road that goes up in the end property, it's safer, it's that we would dump off to the right, and we would cover that upper driveway. We're not trying to back up the hill. The material will be in front of the rear tires, but I still go back, we have to figure out if that's our turn, or is it ours? We've been maintaining it for years, so this is, to me, it's gonna benefit Alex, it's not gonna benefit the town in any way. It's easier the way we do it now, but it would be still just as easy to turn up that access road to the right. But beyond that, my argument is it town property? Because we'd be giving them something up. That's, in my view.
Is that
I'm not
classified
here
as
to
town
argue about
property?
it, I just,
I'm sorry.
Well, when Mike I looked at it, I agree with Mike. I think what's out there is town property. I don't think it's that way around. Doesn't mean we can't do something to deal with it. We just gotta do it the way it says.
The area that he's got purple, we need to get an easement on that if we use it. But
I see purple.
Was the map that he just showed, shows the McGraw Road stopping back further though? It's paved.
on my survey. That
Yeah,
showed
that's
it
where
stops
the
at my neighbor, it's his property line, there's a road that goes off to the north.
Right,
And that's where his property starts, and that's where it showed the McGar Road ending. Not that that was back in 1990, so Mike is correct, that the town has been, in essence, maintaining that property, so they could take it from me. I'm not really arguing that they can't. I can probably try to be difficult, that would be the most thing I could be, but I don't want to do that to the town, I just really want to work it out.
yep,
I think my argument's pretty powerful too. I mean, you can see it's a ton of property, and it's really the only usable place. I called Chip Blair to get 15 ton of line dropped off, and he couldn't do it for me, but I was sweating about where am I gonna have that dumped and how am I gonna have to move it to get it put somewhere. I want it long term for the fields. So, same with the firewood, it ends up making me have to shift stuff around. It's just, it makes it difficult, where I think the turnaround, to stop the front end loader from coming up, because I do think they run out of room there. Last year, they didn't have to do it, there wasn't that big of a snow load, but when the snow piles up, at 49 feet, quickly starts to shrink up, and they could barely make it this year because of the way, they were nice enough, Mike, the driver plowed backwards, so I had a little bit more room up towards the house, but I saw he was coming way off the pavement to try to, almost off the bank, to make the turn and then to back up. So it's a difficult three-point turn for about a 40-foot plow to make on that small area without getting up into my lawn or getting up into the trees, which also causes a little bit of a headache, but everybody deals with that. So I do understand, if he doesn't 100% want it down below, Ed Garrow assured me that with proper shouldering, it would be a safe upgrade for the town, and I'd be happy to pay for a consultation from him or anything if we could put it down there, but I do understand, and I put it right in the packet, that if Mike's just not comfortable with it, no matter what, then I would accept his decision and put it on the access road.
So do we revise this or go and take a look at it all together again, or what's our next step?
I've seen it, I think I'm going back to the same thing. Is that our turnaround? That's what needs to be.
The one you're currently using, you mean? Yeah, I don't see any reason anyway that it's not our turn.
So we've been giving something up, so if we're gonna give something up, instead of an easement, my suggestion would be, we're gonna swap. We're gonna get something back, and that's not gonna be just an easement, it's gonna be a permanent town. And my suggestion would be, take it right to the gate, then that covers two things, it allows the Dasnuts to forever be able to get up into their property, and we could maintain it, and it's not an easement.
Matt?
It's gonna be for everybody
Sorry.
to use that turnaround.
Am I wrong in thinking that the town doesn't own that property, even if they got it, they would just get an easement? I thought it said that the law allowed that whatever the least they had to take from the landowner to get what the municipality needed, like if an easement would suffice, then an easement was good. They wouldn't actually take the property as far as own it.
What Mike's saying is if we give you the current turnaround and it's our property, he wants something back to the town hall. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's.
No, I just didn't know, does the town actually own it, or do they could they take an easement from me? For
The
having
current turnaround
used it?
or the proposed turnaround?
The current turnaround.
My reading of everything Mike and I looked at, the town owns it.
They own it
Yes.
right now. Alright, I definitely did not see that. I saw that they said that the law said that if you have to use eminent domain or the highway law, that the least invasive on the landowner, which would be an easement, and I would still own the property underneath, doesn't really give me much use of it, except for, I just worry, I would give the town the property down below. I worry about giving the town ownership on the 1,200 square feet just because now that's not even my property there. So that's my access road to get up in there that accesses the whole, it's almost half mile long. What if the town wanted to put something there in the future that wasn't a turnaround? What if they wanted to put some kind of a station there? I just don't like the ownership. I'd be happy to write a permanent deed easement saying that they have the installation, maintenance, and use of the turnaround.
You could put in the deed of that transfer, that property can only be used for a snowplow turnaround. And then, in any other way, any other use would cause it to revert back to you.
Then that would be fine. I'm just saying that it would be I'm not against ownership, except for the fact that it makes me nervous, because then that's not even my property. There's a road there that, who am I gonna, could I give somebody a right of way over the town's property? I couldn't. So that access road defuncto would basically almost go away from me. I wouldn't be able
But
to.
if it's town property, then anybody can use it, or can use the access road.
Anybody.
Just like Main Street or, town road is town road. So that access, I think what Mike's saying is we make that chunky town road, that it always provides access to the owner behind it, right? That-
Yeah, and then the Dazzle, well, if it stays in the Dazzle, maybe they're gonna sell it, I don't know, but then I'm just worried about it being landlocked,
Yeah, you're not cutting anybody off that way in town.
you know what I mean, so.
How do we prove that we own the existing turnaround? Would a survey show that, or
We
was
looked
just
at- we looked at a survey and a deed, right?
Yeah, I think it would have to be certain.
Did you ever ask Jim on it?
I haven't. Well, we looked at a
Have
survey.
you, Mike? Huh? Did you ever ask Jeremiah, our assessor? I mean, he could.
Yeah, it's one of the things, and I think Alice runs the thing where it doesn't specifically say, what's what.
So it's pretty great.
And I think that was all done in, I'm gonna guess, in a handshake deal way back when. I don't know, it's way before me. And Elmer's been plowing it when Elmer was here, and Elmer's been gone for a lot of years, so.
Is there a problem with having a deed of easement though? I mean, that would totally, I wouldn't be able to touch it. I mean, the town's got a deed of
It doesn't-
easement.
My only concern is locking the Daznow's assets to that property. But if something can be written in, then so
I
be
don't
it.
think you can landlock somebody that.
Why are we worried about the Dagnons? I mean, I like the Dagnons, and I've already got an agreement with them to use that, but that's not their property. I don't understand why why the town would worry about a private party's access to a piece of property. I mean, I'm gonna make sure that they have access. I'm probably gonna cut another little area in just so that I don't have to drive my tractor on the blacktop to get up into the access road. But I don't think the town should be worried about
that point?
property up behind me. They don't go up there once the snow's deep anyway. It's a half mile to get back there. But when and if they have gone up there, they get up there and they have a bunch of snow to clear. But they never go up there after the snow gets deep. They go up there a few times during hunting season.
The Dazzle may not always own that land. It may change hands, he always has.
Do Dazzlers have an easement?
I
But they don't,
I thought
they don't have any
that's
needed.
sold.
Well, they don't have an easement right now to even use that road.
They don't.
You said.
There's nothing in my deed that says anyone's got the use of that road. Now, I do have an agreement with them, and the previous owner also had an agreement with them, and I had no problem with it. I've spoken with Henry, I've spoken with the boys. I've got no issues with that. I wave to them when they go by. They maintain the gate that's there, which was part of the agreement.
But it's just not in the deed.
It's not deeded right of way.
It's just agreement.
Right, and then even on the other roads though that are seasonal, there's plenty of right of ways to people's property out those. The town doesn't worry, they plow those town roads in and they just stop where they need to. They don't worry about, well, this guy can't get to his camp, or this guy will have to drive through this snowbank. I don't understand why they're worried about, not that I want to hurt the ditch, I just don't think it's going to be any hurt to the Dagnalls or anybody else to own it. They're going to go up there, if they go up there during the winter, they're going to have a half mile of snow to clear. If there's a little bit bigger pile in the beginning, it's not going to be that big a deal. They've got some work to do. Right? But it's nothing the town should have to worry about.
Wasn't it supposed to be surveyed?
That would certainly solve 98% of these problems. Have this entire thing surveyed, the current turnaround, the proposed turnaround, the road, that'll pull all the current deeds, it'll tell us who's got right of ways where. We're gonna need, if we're gonna do anything, we're gonna need a meets and bounds from a survey anyway, so.
I think I could get the meets and bounds done for either one of these proposed areas. The one on the big area, that is twisting, and that would have to be, I don't know, I think that would be expensive, and I got a friend that's a surveyor, but he's not gonna come do that one.
But at least the areas where we're talking about, he would do.
He led me to believe that he could do them, and I would take that on to, even if he won't, I'll figure out getting a proper legal meets and bounds description of both areas.
Is he a licensed surveyor in New York?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good starting point. It'll give us deed references to the surrounding properties, we can look at rights of way, who owns what.
I'd be happy to give you my, I've got an updated, whatever they call those things that shows you all the right of ways and stuff on your property.
Title.
No, the book there, abstract. Thank you,
Abstract
Jim.
title.
Abstract. I've got an updated abstract. If you want to check my title, you can see it shows all nice eggs, got a easement through there, a right of way through there, and I think that's it.
Why don't you get us the abstract and see if your friend, that's a surveyor, meets and balance in them areas that we're looking.
Well, if Mike's absolutely, I don't want to put him out. If Mike's absolutely ruled out the lower area, can I not have him do that? I hate to have him ask him to do that just if they're not going to use it anyway.
That says yes, rule it out.
All right, so we'll just go ahead and start with this 1,200 square foot area. I'll have that drawn up.
And whatever the current turnaround is too, we need to know, if something's gonna go back to you, we need to know what that is too. So,
If there's nothing on there though,
And you're home free?
what do you think, there's nothing on there?
I don't think that you're going to find anything referring to the town having any right of way or road or ownership of any of that.
Yeah, but we gotta know that one way or the other, so. But I would start the survey from this blue line on here, coming down, the whole road, the proposed part the town's gonna get, and anything going to your house.
That's going to be really expensive. That would be thousands of dollars to have a surveyor come do that.
I get it, but we need it, like if the town doesn't own that piece that we use now, the survey will tell us that. If the town does own that piece, and that's what you want, we have to have some way to convey it to you. We need a meets and bounds description to convey, town owns this, now we're conveying it to you. Without that, there's nowhere to start.
But if the town's not even shown to own it, it sounded like from the literature, they could just literally stop plowing it. They plowed it for the statutory 10-year period or maintained it. So all they have to do is literally abandon it. And since there's no paperwork involved, it just goes away. I change it to how I want it. And of course, you do need the meets and bounds description for the new area because they don't want to be putting money into an area that they don't have an easement to. But this old area, I think they could just abandon it. I don't understand why they would need.
I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if that's what I would recommend them do anyway. To maintain something for a certain amount of years, then just say we're not gonna do it anymore. If somebody else goes down there with the expectation it's going to be maintained, then all of a sudden it's not, that could be a problem too. So I'll have to look at that. That's a random one to run into, but I don't think I've ever recommended the town just stop doing what you can do.
I wouldn't stop it. I would wait till I wrote the easement, turned it over to they had the built, and the town was all ready to go. And then they would literally abandon it just from not using it. I mean, what do you do?
That's my point, but it's how does if somebody expects, that we don't need to know about this room, somebody expects the town to be plowing that every year, and they just stop doing it, that's a problem too. You know, that's the only thing I want to guard against from the town's point of view is somebody relying on that, as small percentage as that could be, somebody relying on that area being plowed for whatever the reason is, and then it not happen. That's what we gotta figure out. So that's why knowing that ownership is important. I mean, if the town owns it, if it's in a deed somewhere, how we acquired it, we even plowed it for however long you plowed it for, you're getting chip 24 now, correct? So,
How's the survey gonna prove that the town owns it or doesn't own it?
because the survey's gonna go back and find the deed that's got the most recent ownership listed in it, and then we can go from there and go back farther and see where that came from.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. So what would a surveyor do? He comes out there and spends $5,000 or $4,000 tracing out the area.
He's gonna tell us the town road starts and ends somewhere, right? He's gonna tell us where it ends. As far as information on record right now, he'll be able to tell us where it starts, where it ends.
Oh, the surveyor will do that.
Yeah, that's what a meets and bounds will do. It'll tell us whose property line starts and ends where. That's what we need to figure out.
All right, he led me to believe a meets and bounds was strictly the description of a piece of property that you'd be conveying,
Well, that's what part is, but if I say I want meets and bounds of this property here and this one here, to get those, he's gotta know where everything, all the other ownership around those properties starts and ends.
Wouldn't that be in my abstract?
No. It may be, it may not be.
Like
It's
on my
hard.
deed, it says that it's McGar Road extension right up through, there's a big stone wall there, it's really clear, it shows it right along the edge of the road, and it's right up through so it's very clear where my property boundary is, it's right along the edge of the road.
So if we don't know whether we own it or not, shouldn't we be helping with the survey of some sort?
That's up to the board.
I mean, I'd like to know if we own it, but I don't see why he should have to pay for us to find out we own it.
say that we pay for it, we split it, which I'm okay with, but then we find it out that we do own it. Let's find it out how much it's gonna cost first, correct? But
Okay.
you know what I mean?
What happens if we do own it? We can still give it up and switch for the other property? Or what is your plan if we do own it? Then I'll understand.
My suggestion would be that that's up to the board, because then we don't, whatever we give up, he would give us.
If we own it.
Right, you give up 100 square feet, you give 100 square feet. The same
Yeah,
time you
That's
use
what
the
you're saying, if you own it,
If we own
the
it,
town owns it,
because right
you
now,
wanna kinda like swap it for
yeah,
something.
right now, in my eyes, we own it. If we're gonna give something up, and not really get something back other than me.
Alex, could you talk to your friend that's in the surveyor and see whether he would give you an estimate on what it costs to have it trained?
I can certainly ask him.
Ask him.
Yeah.
And then that would give, for me, a better idea. You know, Craig, and I
Yeah,
can see,
100%.
but, I mean, for me, I don't wanna say, yeah, we'll split it with you, and then the town has to pitch in 15 and he pitches in 15. For me, that would kinda be a little too expensive.
Especially if we're only talking about a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 turnaround, it'd be over half
Right,
the cost.
right.
Just for
That's
that.
an expensive, quite an expense,
Yeah.
I still don't know, I'm pretty sure that I thought the abstract was what proved who had what. When you look through
If he
it,
goes through your abstract and it's in there, he can write it all out for us.
I've been through this abstract with him almost a year ago.
Okay.
We went through the whole thing, and
what did he say?
he said that the town doesn't have an easement on your property right now. You know, he did tell me about the prescriptive easements, and that if they're maintaining it, they're gonna be able to take that property. I must say, I really don't love the idea that if the town had 7,500 square feet that they got because they were using that area, that then I should have to match that and give it to the town. That doesn't sound super fair to me, I mean, just open it to town.
That's what Mike is trying to say too, is if we don't own it, is it correct or am I not correct, Mike, in saying that?
I'm saying if we do own it.
If we do, but and on the other hand, if we don't, I mean, you know, we shouldn't be swapping something that we don't own for something.
But a deeded easement is just as good as far as I'm concerned, as owning the property.
Pros and cons of both sides.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it tomorrow. We've been on this for half an hour.
Yeah.
Let's look at it.
Check for yours.
Check and see
I'll
what we
check
can
with my
find
friend,
out.
I'll see about getting that
More.
written up, and I'll also bring my abstract, and we'll go from there. I don't want to waste anybody's
Can he
time.
send that to you?
Could you get it, like,
The abstract price.
back as soon as you can, so we'll be able to make it?
Right, it's
You know,
really
be able
long.
to-
I'll get that stuff together as quickly as I can, and I'll drop it off to town hall.
Good, thanks.
Alright,
Thanks, Al.
Mike, I appreciate it, I know it's a hassle too, man. I just want the town to get an upgraded turnaround, for equal or less money than to take care of the current area they have. That's all I'm looking for. So I really appreciate everyone's time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7. Accepted, possible, well, we are, acceptance of the bid for the 2005 trailer. I don't have the 7, do you guys?
Had an email to me.
I had an email.
But I don't know if I'll-
You don't have the
No.
resolution?
No. Or the bid. So let's just move on from 7 and go to number 8 and we'll just continue down.
I got it.
Got all the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim St. Dennis, $721. K&E Construction was $3,801. Robert Carroll was $1,500. Robert Husner was
That's
$3,850.
one of the exceptions.
And Mike Racine was $2,809. So Robert Husner at $3,850.
Just good. We didn't have a minimum on that record. He did put no minimum. So I need resolution that she has. So we'll wait. She's getting a resolution I think right now. Yeah. resolution?
I'll make it.
Rick made the motion, Jim second for the resolution.
Thank you, Ben.
Resolution authorizing the town supervisor to approve the sale of the new water sewer department 2005 Haulrnark trailer to Robert Haulrnark. Whereas having been determined in consultation with the town water sewer superintendent, the town has no further need for 2005 Haulrnark enclosed trailer. And whereas the town received 5 bids, the one the board has in front of them from Robert Haulrnark has been deemed the highest and most acceptable. Whereas the board put the trailer up for sale in as-is condition with no minimum bid. Be it resolved, the town supervisor is hereby authorized to approve the sale to be as-is condition with no warranties or guarantees expressed or implied. Such offer to sell the trailer for $3,850 to Robert Haulrnark is further resolved. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes. Okay, so, already signed? Okay.
Like that word, don't you, Randy?
So.
Sold. Okay, number 8. As far as hours, Monday, you want to talk about this for your hours? Just changing them?
Yeah, right now, the official hours are between 9 and noon on Tuesday, but Monday, I'm there Monday anyway, and it's really, I'm getting more people coming in on Monday, so I don't think I've had anybody on Tuesday, so I might as well.
Okay, so she would like
That's all
to
right.
change hours on Monday from 10 to 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Everyone in favor? Aye. Well, thank you. I need a motion accepted, second to accept Mark Lukens' resignation from the planning board.
Second?
Jim Douglas, Craig second, and that is number 9 right here. I need
A resolution accepting the resignation of Mark Lukens from the town of Peru planning board position effective June 30th this year. Whereas the town of Peru planning board has recommended the town board accept Mark Lukens' resignation offered June 6, 2023. Therefore be resolved, the Peru town board advocates the recommendation of the town of Peru planning board to accept Mark Lukens' resignation and thanks him for his unwavering dedication and past service to the town of Peru. His resignation will be effective June 30th, 2023. Be resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Vote.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Oh, you were first there, sorry.
I don't
Mr.
have-
Douglas?
I don't have.
Yes.
Yeah, to the back. Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
It's a little teeny 9.
Yes.
You will be missed on that board.
Yeah, well, anyway, that question.
Anyone that's sweet.
If we're short enough.
Keep shrinking.
We'll send that letter out, right, Randy, thanking him.
This was Craig and Mel. This was Rick and Jim. Yep, excellent. Okay, number 10, motion discussion number 10 for resolution to approve the designation of lead agency reoccurrence paperwork. Need a motion and a second for that.
Motion.
Craig and Jim Douglas.
A resolution to hereby declare the town of Peru's intent to be designated as the lead agency for the action of seeker full environmental assessment form part 1, upgrades to the water pollution control plant collection system upgrades. Whereas the town of Peru town board, hereinafter referred to as town board, has reviewed the seeker full environmental assessment form EAF part 1, upgrades to water pollution control plant collection system upgrades, hereinafter referred to as action. And whereas the town board determines that said action is classified as an unlisted action under the state environmental quality review seeker regulations. And whereas the town board determines that said action is also subject to review and approval by other involved agencies under seeker regulations. And whereas the town board determines it is the most appropriate agency to ensure the coordination of this action and provide written notifications to involved agencies for the purposes of conducting a coordinated review based on determination of significance thereon under the seeker regulations. Now therefore be resolved, the town board does hereby declare its intent to be designated as the legal agency for the action. Be it further resolved that the town board and consulting engineering firm AES Ortiz is directed to provide notice hereof to the involved agencies seeking their opinion or objection thereto in writing on before July 26, 2023. Be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes. Okay, number 11, order to call for the 202D hearing for the wastewater treatment plant project.
Make the motion.
Craig made the motion, second by Mel. And that's to set the public hearing for July 24th at 5:45 before our next meeting. Second. Like I said, we're gonna have a public hearing on July 24th at 5:45 before our next meeting.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
So number 12, acceptance of estimates for engineering ventures on the sprinkler system. For you, Mike?
Yeah, I met with Peter Gibbs a couple weeks ago after the last meeting. He sized the building up and he's kind of come up with a rough plan on the cheapest way to do it. They'll send that out to get the design, and then usually the cheapest way he says is mechanical engineer, sprinkler people will will come up with a plan of their own, and we just have to make sure it's up to the par of what they're doing, the cheapest way to do it, which is easy enough to do. We do have to get flow test from two Voltus hydrants, but I'm talking to Courtney. The one by the tower comes off a 12-inch, and then the next ones on the corners come off 6-inch, so I'm going to assume they're going to want flow data off the ones off the 12-inch. I did meet with Mark again today. Mark is kind of going to be the lead one from Engineer Ventures. We're looking at coming off Cross Street. Would be the easiest for me because we only have to cross the gas line. We were in the 2-inch and we found everything, but nothing was, there's no sketch or anything, so a lot more comfortable. But they're talking minimum of 6-inch come in. They're talking about running 8-inch for a sprinkler system. So that's where we're at right now. So but this is just to give you some rough numbers, and I know Pam called them last week, and it's the easiest way to put it out there. So you got the information, and that looks like the cheapest way to go. The way Peter is saying, it's kind of like an RFP, I guess, that's the right terms.
Except for the highways.
So the only question I have is, we're estimating about $10,000 to tell us where to put our pipe in the ground? Or we're gonna put the pipe in the ground?
Yeah, I plan on digging the pipe. I'm sure he's gonna have Darryl put the valve in.
Right, so why do we wanna pay an engineer $10,000 to tell us
They
where to
have
put
to
the
tell
pipe?
you the size of the pipe you're gonna use.
For $10,000?
So, I don't know.
Did you read this, Bob?
No, I think there's more.
That's
than
part
that.
I'm reading, the bottom part. Mark D can develop a site plan for the water line coming in, which is a piece of pipe.
Yeah, but does it include the pipe? Is that the rough estimate? I don't know.
It's all, just says water line coming in for $10,000 right now.
He's also developing the bid and spec manual too.
That's up top, that's the 4,000. Oh, bid
No,
spec manual.
10,000
Yeah, okay, I
is
got
total.
it. Bid spec manual. That's 4,000. All right.
And about 6,000 for the mechanical engineer.
Just seems awful high, $6,000 for, to tell me where to put a pipe that we're gonna put in.
It's not just,
The bid package is 4,000, right?
The big bid package is for.
All right.
Yeah,
You gotta have a bid, you gotta
I
have an
plan on
engineer
getting
involved.
It's gotta be engineered.
It's gotta be engineered.
It's gotta have a
We have
stamp.
no choice.
I don't know,
Yeah.
government policy.
What my goal is to get that valve cut in this year and get it out across the street and out into our parking lot for this year, if everything works out. We'll do that before we repave Cross Street. We haven't paved that anyway, so it'd be a good time to do it. And then next year, if everything is hunky-dory, I would get it to the building. But from the building, they're gonna be responsible for everything inside, obviously.
Yeah, as soon as possible, Mike, for sure, man. If we can get it all in this year, it'd be even better, you know?
Because I know it's hot, the money's hot, but when you got that kind of equipment in there, all that equipment, let's get it
Well,
in.
in the long run, you gotta think about, what's the insurance rate gonna go down?
Yeah.
Because we got that in the garage.
We should be
That's gonna
making
be a
sure.
savings anyway.
I
Yeah,
don't
this-
think we should be, you know, cutting it, well, I'm only gonna go to this part, because then the money runs out. God forbid we have a fire, and then we're gonna kick ourselves in the butt,
Yeah,
saying,
no,
for another
No, we wanna keep moving.
$4,000 or $6,000.
Well, this is
$3-4
just the engineering, that's not the price of the, what we're getting
No,
installed.
I
That's
know.
gonna be double that.
Yeah.
You know, there's $3-4
But how much,
It's
how much of that?
gonna be 300, 400,000.
Yours, so we're gonna, it's gonna be out for a bid for the whole job.
No, I'll run the pipe in.
Like you said, you
But
run the pipe.
to cut the valve in, that's gonna be, Courtney, I'm gonna assume Ben Carroll. And then from the valve out, I can run into the building. You know,
What's the, what do you think? That,
We have no clue.
Okay.
we got a multi-pipe,
Material stuff
it's gonna be
changes daily.
simple.
I'm sorry?
If you
Materials
can
and
get it.
stuff changes daily.
Yeah.
And there, some other company's gonna do the installation in there.
Yeah, they have to be certified.
Yeah,
That's gonna be,
yeah.
but yeah, I wanna say our job is for sure, that's good.
So on this, it's a quote, just a quote. So are we looking to pass this tonight or just
To
to
keep
go out?
moving is what, I guess, what I'm looking for,
Absolutely.
to keep the process moving.
Let's just keep moving,
So we got a motion and a second just to keep the process moving. I need a motion and a second for that.
I'll second the motion.
Jim, Craig, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bob?
Well, I get, here's one, when you say keep the process, are you, are we gonna go out and cut and say, this guy's hired right now to do this work? Is that what we're approving, or?
This is Norris.
What's that?
When we say to keep the process moving, what, I don't understand what it means by that.
Well, so we can get the mechanical engineers involved, and keep, the sides of the pipe going.
No, so are we hiring them to do this work?
Peter Gibbs would be, yes.
But
Would
we're
be
being-
the,
Right, but we're committing 10 grand to do this.
he's gonna send it out to mechanical engineers to draw all the plans up for inside the building. There's gonna be detailed plans.
Right, I'm just figuring, if we're about to spend 10 grand, we need a resolution.
Looks like 14 grand to me.
Well, whatever it is, I mean, we just made a motion,
It's 10 total.
Well, I wasn't sure if we had to have a resolution because it was an estimate.
but that's what I'm trying to figure out. What, when we say we're making a motion to keep the process moving, are we telling Mike, yeah, go have engineering ventures do this, and we're committing 10 grand to do? What exactly did we just approve to be done?
Just get-
Let's be careful about that.
I think,
Inspect.
my 2 cents, I mean, that's up to you, but I think you should do a resolution for everything.
Yeah.
And then,
So you want to do a resolution for next meeting on this? to
yeah,
spend this?
that's fine.
Okay.
Yes, that's,
Okay.
yeah,
So
so,
that's what we.
so the motion could be to request that a resolution be drawn up for the next meeting in an effort to keep this process moving, so we can formally approve this.
There's several internal people are gonna be working,
Okay.
different companies, obviously.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because
Yeah,
it was.
No, that's fine.
It's just-
Right, that makes sense. I just want to make sure we get that.
Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have a resolution done for the next meeting to formalize that. Okay, perfect, thanks.
So the motion and a second is to get to the resolution for next meeting.
To move forward with
the
this, and have
process
a
moving
resolution done. Yeah.
for next meeting of July 24th.
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, that's just not it. That's why you're.
Okay, other business. Rick?
I've been stopping over to Peru Welding. The cupola for the bell is coming along nicely. I've got some pictures on my phone if anybody wants to see it. He's got it tack welded together. He said, come down tonight, take a look at it. I took some pictures, it's gonna look nice.
Can you tell us where we are in the logging business?
The logging business, we
Yep.
got a hold of the DEC, I don't know. if they
Well,
got back.
I called Brad, or not Brad, was it Brad? Yeah, Brad, when you were here the other day, AES. Greg, yeah, called Greg it was. And Greg believes that we do have a decommissioning thing, he believes, but he said he was calling Mandy the girl at DEC.
Madison.
Or Madison at DEC, I knew they did the name right. And calling them and finding out if he did not get the answer that was decommissioned. He asked me and Courtney that day if it was okay for him to ask to get decommissioned, and of course we said yes. So that's where we're at on
Okay.
Thursday when I called, when I was here, and then he asked Courtney if we didn't have a decommission on it, if we could ask for them to do it, and of course we want it, if we don't have it. I have not heard yet back to them.
So are we at the spot on this where we're not gonna log and now we're just gonna sell it as a set parcel?
Well,
Let's see what we find out.
Depending on the
We-
decommission? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
and let-
Decommission is a lot easier.
once we get a hold of DEC, I asked Courtney about soil tests over there, getting some soil tests done to find out if there's any residual, anything in the soil.
Right,
That's something else we're gonna have to have. Then we can sell it.
Or logging, or whatever we decide.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Decommissioning is the big thing, but he believed it was, but he wanted to double check.
According to Mr. Charles, the guy that cruised it, and Randy's got the cruise that lives
It's in
down
that,
there.
yes.
In his view, about half of it could be used for farm field. And I told Nell the other night, he said, all depends on how deep in the soil they want to put their drainage tile. But the far end toward Remillard's field is very wet.
Yeah,
He said the rest of it, about halfway back toward Adirondack's field, is pretty good. There's approximately $54,000 worth of timber on it
Yep.
that the town owns. That's our share. In his view, he said, to sell it as a woodlot, in his estimation, if somebody wanted to buy it for a woodlot or a hunting area, like Mike had said before, you could sell that and they can use it for that. If we log it and strip it, we're stuck with it.
Yep.
Forever. It's not gonna be a woodlot, it's not gonna be anything. If we sell it as a woodlot, people,
Do whatever they want.
they can do whatever they want with it, but they may not be able to build it.
got it.
So that's why I
Decommissioning is.
kind of pulled everything back from taking the wood off it, because we may have to be stuck with this,
Yep.
depending on what we find out.
Or sell it as a woodlot.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys for the update.
Thanks, Rick. Jim?
Yeah,
Other
I got
business.
that, you guys got that packet there from Adele, about down at Hayward's Nation.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to talk about the first floor. You know, I don't know if you guys read it there, it was in 2005 that there was an architectural firm that provided this, but it's not much. We need to get something, so I could just talk to Rick about it. Are we gonna put in 2 bathrooms? We put in 2 set, bathrooms, so, with urinals, we need to decide what we're gonna go and what we wanna do with that.
for what? Oh, does she need a price?
Yes,
So why don't we just go off of this?
because this is
It's just
just,
a concept drawing.
Yes. So what do we need, a detail
I mean,
job?
if you're gonna have somebody price it,
yeah, we need the price on it.
how could you price that
grant.
without knowing any dimensions, sizes?
Oh,
What
yeah.
materials have to be put in,
And the drawings.
where your mechanicals all have to be run.
Definitely need that stuff.
Right, but we need.
My houses already have that, I just walk in and look. So we need to get an engineer involved for that, too.
ASAP, because.
I don't think you have enough time, I mean, you only have a month, right?
You are.
Really, I'm sick of these
Maybe if you could
engineers.
get an engineer to give a ballpark per square foot what it costs to build a commercial bathroom.
How long would that, because Adele called me and then, she needs something, a ballpark figure of what the cost is and what we're gonna do.
Right, and we'll need to send them sort of sketches of what we're thinking of doing.
Right.
And basically putting in bathrooms, how many do we want? There was somebody who wanted to put in bathrooms, maybe it's.
What's that?
No.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I had heard that you were planning to put in bathrooms anyway.
We,
Yes.
yeah,
What
we
was
had
that
talked about.
plan? It doesn't have to be any fancier than that. And the entrance, we thought we needed the entrance to be, I don't know, it's gonna be rehab, the entrance. And then, if we had money left over from bathrooms, we were gonna, this display area, so we thought, we could maybe have a display case there or just something, because it's all about the historic value of the building.
Right.
So,
But the thing it is from my point of view, is that if we're gonna put bathrooms in, I just don't wanna go, just put Hamilton in, because I just see Hayward Mason growing. I mean, the way things are going down there, I don't wanna just put in 2 porta potties like, again, but, I mean, let's put in something that's
I am all for the bathrooms down on the bottom,
first
Yes.
floor.
first floor.
that's all we're gonna,
Yep.
You just said something about display or something
we'll
else.
see as you go in, the entrance, you
I,
go to the bathroom.
I'm not in favor of
There was
anything.
money left over, you
No,
know,
what are you looking at? Same picture,
first
man?
floor.
Okay. Just bigger.
Second floor, that I would be fine with, and third floor. But that first floor, I want to keep it as, I hate saying it this way, but bare minimum as possible, in case we do have any kind of flooding that happens down there, something's not going to get ruined.
Well, whatever we would put there would be nothing to be ruined.
Okay.
It would just be maybe a case that would let us show pictures or something that people would live in, you know.
That case
We
is
would-
downstairs.
Nothing would be ruined.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, part of the grant that we're looking for is to enhance the whole area, so there's some economic benefit to having good bathrooms there for people at the farmer's market, and that's just
Correct.
part of what
Absolutely.
That's,
we're working on.
Yes.
And maybe having the entrance look welcoming and
Yes.
part of a historic building. But you're right, nothing would go there that we could replace,
Right.
you know.
but when I said, like the bathrooms, it's like he had said, we have the, I think somebody told me, was it you, Cam, or somebody that had said there was like 600 people were at that market the other day.
That's what Alan said, there was, she said 600 cars, but,
Well, 600 cars,
I
so
mean-
there could be more people, but you know,
yeah,
there was
I
at
don't know,
least 600
600
there,
cars
right?
seems like a lot.
Yeah, we understand.
They told me
the need for it, but
700
we need to
people.
know how
That was
we're
probably
gonna go
in
about
and
getting
out,
the price.
that wasn't at once.
Exactly, and
No way.
we need to either get,
No, not at once, but but the thing is, if you plan on doing anything on the second floor, I think it has to be ADA compliant with an elevator.
In the
Right.
concept.
Correct.
right.
So you can't do
But everybody's
anything
talking about the
else.
first floor right now.
I know.
Yeah, we're only on the
You said
first floor.
second.
We don't have enough money anyway to collapse.
Yeah.
Is the first floor even compliant? There's no ramp anywhere, right?
It's ground level.
And the doors are wide enough.
And the doors.
So we need to get somebody to give us an estimate.
Correct.
It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, what's the grant, 100,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll easily
Plus,
spend that.
plus,
Yeah, just
plus
draft
the match
it.
of say 30, if we took a full 100, then
I
they
mean,
want to
that
match
building
it.
is stripped, and so you're doing everything. All your mechanicals and your finishes,
You're starting from scratch.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So should we put it out for bid, or
Then that's.
But I mean, you have nothing to bid on.
We have nothing to bid on.
they have to go over and measure it?
Then that's it.
Look at it.
You gotta have a set of plans.
Somebody's gotta pick, what do you want for finishes? What do you do in your walls? Are you doing a block? Are you gonna do them,
There's a lot.
you know,
So
study
you're not
like a
gonna
sheet
get-
rock with a.
So we have to get an
You're not
engineer
gonna get
involved.
Yes.
You know, you need a
Okay.
detailed drawing.
And when is this due by? Because I don't think we could ever meet the timeframe. When is it due by?
I think we got about a month.
Yeah, which is,
Is that what
I
she
hate
said?
to say it is. I
About a
know
month for her to
engineering,
get.
but I know everyone out there is months and months and months. I mean, seriously, I never.
At this point, it'd have to be a rough ballpark figure, just enough.
Can it
Just
be a Bruno
ballpark.
custom
You
tile
don't
work?
have to tell them how much, you
No,
know,
it's gotta be reliable.
tiles look like.
Oh, good answer. Yeah, I mean, I'll joke aside, but we really, can we get something quickly to,
Talk to the engineer. Got a town engineer, right?
Engineer, but
we're gonna be kicking the can down the road?
what is the exact date that we need to stack back by? Do we know exactly from Adele, or do you know?
Spend how much?
Because nothing in here tells you.
He
what.
said mid-August, I think, at the last meeting, I
I
thought.
mean, we must have
Yeah,
get,
but this is gonna be July, John.
Right.
we must have get e-measures to do
That's what she
anyways,
said,
we don't
August
want it in the
something.
future.
No, but
Only if we can get it back in time.
I think, yeah,
Oh, why, they won't deal like they have this again next year? Or is it
I'm
one
sure.
shot?
No, it's a one shot, that's
Yeah.
why
Oh,
we jumped on it.
One shot each year. One shot each year.
No, well, they just said that they weren't sure they'd get the money next year, so this was the one shot, so.
Shoot it down, I guess.
I think we need somebody to tell us approximately how much, obviously, the bathrooms will cost us, you know? It's not like,
Can't do it without measurements and numbers and,
right,
You
so
guys
we're
have
gonna
numbers
have
from
to
an
look and
engineer.
see.
You
Yeah.
you gotta give us a design you want, subway tile.
Somebody has to, I don't know, I thought maybe,
Not that time.
I mean, I'm not designing them.
I'm not the one.
Let me call Peter, see if it's even possible in a time frame.
Okay,
that's our only answers.
Yep.
I mean, there's,
that's all we're waiting for, so you're right, everything else we can.
Maybe if they don't need anything too specific, he can just tell you it's $150 a square foot to do a commercial bathroom.
but is that all that they're gonna require for us to go for
Yeah, I don't know what
this
the grant requires, I don't.
Stop on my way home and ask him.
Okay.
Caleb.
Okay.
So, hopefully might be able to give us a solution.
I mean, if you ask me, I would.
Jim's calling to see exactly what
It's
it's
just
due.
hard, I don't know any of the finishes, or, and you know, tile can be $1 a square foot, or
$27 to get one.
Well, that's the plan was, and you and your guys are gonna take care of installing everything, and he's gonna.
I'm sure it was, that was the plan.
Oh, I'm love to tile it.
That's what I had.
Might as well be consistent.
So Courtney, you have a
I
suggestion?
give you a
Gotta be
quote
quiet.
if you want for the whole thing, but
Man, the grinder pit alone setup is gonna be
Oh,
over,
and
it's
your
probably
grinder pit.
10,000 right there, you know, by the time you buy it, the materials install it.
Well, we can
Where do
come back
you-
and maybe something for the.
Courtney, where does that have to run to from the grinder?
Yeah, they all have a copy.
To that manhole on the hill.
Gotta go around the building, one way or the other, right?
No, the grinder pit will have to go in front of the building.
Okay,
Goes to that.
There's actually, Greg did have a pipe put in
okay,
before they did the sidewalk. There is a pipe, a sewer pipe inside the building that goes out
all right.
behind the water fountain. So as long as everything can be plumbed to that, then you put your grinder pit there,
Okay.
and then you have to run a pressure line. But the grinder pit alone is probably $6 grand.
yeah, let's go Brandy.
Okay, so we will look into it and see if we have the time. Okay, that was just a discussion.
August 11th.
Yeah.
And she said that, you know, like, what's it, I don't know, somebody said, or Gordon, if we get, is some engineers would say per square foot.
It's easier said than getting somebody right now, I can tell you that.
How can they say per square foot without looking at the inside of that building?
Well, so yeah, they'd have to go look at it.
So let's look and see if we can get it in time. If we can't, we are looking into it. I mean, it's not far away, so.
No,
Anything else, Jim, for other business?
that's it.
Diane?
No, one sec, thank you. Oh, except one thing. Just a real thank you, actually, to Pam. We had a couple calls that one, the wife was housebound, the husband couldn't get out, and I said, oh, I can drive you up there, I know those people, and we went to the wrong driveway, but she had no license paperwork, and these people were very, very gracious. So those are the outside things.
Cool,
Nice.
thank you.
Thank you. Matt?
All set.
No.
Rick and I did some chasing the other day, just reminding people there are no motorized vehicles allowed on town parks, trails, walkways. And the other part, I wanted to give Chuck a little, next time we got a loose donkey, you know what to do.
I called today.
I know where it is,
We had an accident in the room today.
Yeah, you sure did, they called me.
they called me. They had it locked up.
Just right there.
Donkey was loose today. There was a donkey loose today.
Tell you, Chuck.
Yeah. And to Mel's point, motorized vehicles, I've got a lot of calls, you guys have all got a lot of calls, a lot of text messages, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, on town properties a lot. Saturday I was at a graduation in Thai. I texted a group of everyone here, asking who could go down, because the state trooper's wife called me and said that there was motorized vehicles down by Sylvan Park. Mel and Rick went right down. Eventually, over time, you guys found the corporates of who it was, and talked to the kids. There was a group of people at the houses, so they didn't talk to the parents, as far as I know, just the kids, right?
Yeah.
So.
You scare them.
So hopefully, but at least we know where to go on that group of where it is over in Windenbrook, to where they're coming from on that group. There's other groups that are coming from Dashnaw Road and, God, what's the other road?
More drive.
Moore Drive and a couple other ones, so, but please, if you see anyone, take pictures. That's the biggest thing, is if you're walking on a trail, you see somebody, take a picture of license plate, call somebody. Because
Is that our gate?
we're getting a lot more than we ever
Is that
have
gate?
before.
Sounds like Bob should be.
And Lappin's Mills, there's a group of them from Lappin's Mills too that are coming up and down quite fast. So.
They do have though, Mel, they do have that donkey and they know who.
Back on the donkey?
Go for those and,
Well, I want one of them old.
He just woke up. Let's go.
No, I'm trying to get in, because you guys were busy.
You had your time.
Jim, you're making an ass of yourself.
Bob woke up.
Thank you, Bob.
But they're electric.
Okay.
This meeting's one for the books.
This meeting from the beginning, this meeting from the beginning has not been a normal meeting.
Have we been around to these guys yet?
No, we're going to you now because
Oh my
usually
God,
it's
we're
another
only,
hour.
we're only to me this, but.
Everybody's got 25 words.
Greg.
Use them wisely.
Chuck.
Things are getting busy again, and now the board has approved that I can catch donkeys.
No, we did not approve that.
Cats and skunks too, but I
Yeah.
would say,
Anything else?
No catching donkeys.
Christine.
Mother Nature's not our friend. Obviously today's really wet. Boys lined the field. Had to cancel Saturday. Have had to cancel a couple other times. But they've been really good trying to get everything. Brian and I have been up there raking. You know, field 2 is our biggest problem with water. Any little bit of rain and you might as well just get out flippers and a snorkel. But the boys are really pretty good. They've learned how to use the hoses now, and Courtney and his group have been fantastic with dragging the fields and everything. So the rapid dry is proving invaluable at the moment as well. Met with summer rec assistants. They've already started calling for soccer, which keeping an eye on the weather. You know, we can do a little bit of rain, wet fields at Lapham's for soccer, but you know, just like with anything else, it gets too wet and then it's just not safe. So with summer activities, we'll keep an eye on everything. Arts and crafts is really pretty decent as long as we don't have any sideways rain. We're under the pavilion. Hey, you know, bring an umbrella to get back and forth if we need to. Basketball, same kind of thing, pumping up balls, that kind of stuff. As far as teams go, everybody's been doing great. I haven't heard anything. Nick said something out about air quality today from the county. He said judgment call on each town's part. Umpires are scarce. We have a little bit of an issue that we're taking care of with a team. As far as they said that their uniforms didn't fit properly. I'm trying to go through and ferret out how much truth is in there. It doesn't really seem to be. And they had since gone out and purchased new uniforms on their own. So there's a little disparity between some of the other kids in school the last week of school. Hey, their uniforms are different, our uniforms are better, but we've got a line on it and we're gonna meet with the coach at some point.
Good.
Question while we're on her, weren't we supposed to have a resolution to raise that age for the youth assistant on this meeting?
You want to do it? Do it?
When Pam sends out for the agenda, somebody needs to ask for it to be on there. We can get it typed up. If somebody's got the old one, I can fudge it right now, right? But
I don't have the old one.
Just in case.
Mr. Barber. He's got everything in that line.
not, we can go to Helen and then you have it. If not, Diane said she has it or can get it. You don't have it?
No,
Okay.
not right handy, no.
Thank you. We're gonna go on to Helen for other business and move around. Thank you, Diane.
Love Point Lighthouse is opening this Sunday from 1 to 3 for the summer.
Is that gonna be every Sunday, those hours?
Sorry?
Every Sunday for those hours?
Yeah, 1 to 3 every Sunday. And on July 22nd, we're having a Peru church history tour. So, you know.
Thank you. Bob?
Just to touch on Mark Lukens' resignation, I would like to say that he was definitely a valuable member of the planning board. Sharp, very good insight. Fortunate, we do have a gentleman, Peter Stone. He's going to step into his position, I believe, so you're going to see a letter from the planning board recommending that they add him as a member.
I know that
Yeah, he's been attending meetings and so.
He pretty well.
Yeah, he's pretty sharp. So,
We would like him,
yeah. So someone, I know Mark is planning on relocating as is, but we, does the board plan on just drafting a letter, thank you letter? You know, I'm
I
sure.
think he also appreciate one of the fish you catch if you mounted it for him. You catch any or not?
So, that's all I got. Thank you.
Then we have a date, Bob, that's July 3rd.
Yeah, July 3rd,
The house is
so
School
for the,
Street.
yeah, for the demo on School Street, that's a tentative date. As of today, they're still waiting for the variance letter to come back from the state. They expect that it's there, but Terry can't start until he has that variance letter from the state. So I followed up with a phone call today and to see if that letter's been generated. And one person's on vacation and someone else took my, I had to leave voicemail, I'm waiting for a call back. But they do expect that it will begin this week, and provided it is, Terry's gonna start on Monday the 3rd.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Thanks,
Do,
Bob.
Bob,
Do we have,
Connors Road.
Connors Road, yeah, okay, so Connors Road, that's been a problem forever. That place has been 75 Connors Road. And that place has been,
That's what burned?
yeah, that was the one, we had to go to court.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yep.
so it was, last week, or 2 weeks ago, it was demolished and hauled away. They got a full foundation there, which I asked in the fence, and I know Rick actually, been pretty busy, so I can't jump everywhere, but Rick checked on me and he said, yeah, they got a fence up. I told them they had to put a fence up because of what the conditions are still there. But they're gonna, they plan on building, apparently she is a Peru native and gonna be a school teacher. And the folks are relocating from New Hampshire. And my conversation is that with them was they tried to secure a builder and everyone is at least a year out.
Minimal.
So they're having a tough time, but.
We just gotta keep an eye on that fence if it's gonna be that long.
What's that?
We just gotta keep an eye on that fence.
Yeah.
You got a million things to do. If somebody's driving by there, just make sure it looks secure all the way around.
Yeah, for sure, it is, yeah. So, but it's nice that's gone, that's been a long time.
You did a good job with that.
Yeah. There was, one more was in the tax sales, some of these properties that were acquired. The one on Lapa Mills, that was the old manufactured home. That one was purchased by a landowner up the street. Spoke to them last week. They know what they have to do. They have to contact someone, and I just got to get a clean bill of health, showing that there's no asbestos, and they can all that. So I expect something to work.
Did get a Rosie sold too over here.
Yeah.
Because there was people over there last week.
Yeah. So Chip Blair called me and said that I believe the people were from maybe All Sable.
I don't know, I just seen people over there last week.
I believe so, and Chip called and said that he was contacted by them about knocking it down. Said he can't because it has to be an asbestos job, and he backed right away. So, you know.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Mike, Mannix Road, we paved it last week, we put shoulders on one side today, then we run out of once and dust. We started hauling late this afternoon, we'll make 3 rounds in the morning, to get enough off. We will come back down the other side. The county has kind of tentatively marked out the center line, the edge lines, whether it's pass or no pass, so I'm gonna try to hold them off. Because I think I'm gonna back the paper up and we're gonna shim right out to Baton Road, both lanes 1 inch. We're gonna finish it next year anyway. We just don't have enough money to do it all this year. And then have them stripe the center line just from that point up. And then we move the excavator to John Boswell sometime next week when I get the dig safe clearance. We'll start changing pipes up there. I can't give you a distance on that one yet. I'm still waiting for the bills on Mannix because it's all gonna just back everything up under John Boswell, and that'll be a 2-year paving thing too again. We'll get what we can this year, then we'll finish next year. So I did talk to Charlie Boyce today in order to stay in that truck schedule. I talked to you earlier to get a 26. We just got a 23 to stay at that 3-year cycle. I got to order it spring 24. So he's going to try to get me some rough numbers. They're going to be rough because you're looking 3 years out, you know, basically 2.5. But there is a big increase coming because of all the federal mandates in 27. So we should be under that for this one, the next one. But after that, there's going to be an increase because of all this green stuff going on.
How much money do you need up front on that?
I'm going to tuck away, we'll see at the budget time, but since we got the 2.5, 3 years, right now I know all Sables went for 305,000, I think. Ours was 252 that we just got, but theirs is going to be, that's how much they're jumping. And we go with a stainless box because of the salt, so I'm somewhere in the 330 to 350, I'm going to assume, with the same truck we just got. That's how much they're, everything is,
a year.
it's crazy. So I'll just put money in reserves over, but if you want to stay, just write the check. And that's the way we've always done it, but that's up to you. Yeah, I kind of like that way, then we're not bonding.
Budget already years, that's what you have it up to.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know how many more years you can do it like that. They're getting so darn expensive. DEC did contact me, they were gonna come Friday. We are due for bulk tank inspection and all that stuff. So I called him back, said we're off on Fridays. And he's found that out because he's tried to do several towns. He got the same answer, so I just wait for him to give us, I said anytime Monday through Thursday, you know. And a Friday I wouldn't mind, but I'm going to camp, so it'll be the first time this year. I'm not giving it up. So that's pretty much all I got. Adam now, or Andrew's out. He had his twins this week, or him and her. So, but we're getting by. The new guys, we had all the 3 new guys were on the Widener shoulder machine today. They did a beautiful job. They pick up the stuff quick. So it's nice. That's all I got. No.
Courtney. Just a couple things. The court AC and heat system is in and operational. We just got to go back and patch some walls where we ran some wiring to it. And so everybody knows, I lost a seasonal employee. I have reposted that, but no hits on that posting yet. Getting done what we can. And other than that, the state health department is coming to go take samples out of our reservoir on Wednesday. They're doing this statewide to surface water supplies. Don't know too much more other than that about it. I just gave permission that they could come up and poke around.
It's not full for all the rain tomorrow night and into Wednesday.
Yeah, they'll get some good water quality.
They'll have plenty of water to pick from.
Then we have started mowing sections of the the disc golf course that Robert has laid out. Slowly trying to chip away at that. And we can get to it when we get time.
Were you drawn on the reservoir today? There was no water going over the dam.
Yeah, well, with all the rain, we've diverted a lot of it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny, I went by and it's dry.
Now, if we can catch it when we know we're getting a lot of rain, we'll divert the colored water around and down the brook and try to protect the water in the reservoir. So,
According to tell you guys, the Hayward Mason Park went fantastic this weekend.
Definitely.
Anything else? Pam?
Sponsor. Sponsor.
Concert went well.
Glad the rain held off. It didn't look good all day because of the haze with the smoke, but a lot better than it was supposed to be.
People that.
There was at least 100 there.
Okay, when I counted, it was
Anything else? Public comments? Not, public comments on agenda items only.
Let's make a motion to add this to the resolution.
Oh, yes. I need a motion and a second for a resolution that Matt's gonna read.
Resolution adopting the change in the town of Peru. Right, I'm just talking about making a motion to. Be a motion to make a resolution to adopt the change in the employee handbook regarding, regarding employee classification in regards to nepotism. So it needs to make that motion.
Make the motion.
Okay?
I'll second.
No.
A resolution to adopt the change in the town of Peru employee handbook to add an employee classification in regards to nepotism. Whereas the town of Peru has determined that a uniform set of personnel rules, policies, and requirements for employees and officers is an essential communication tool that promotes consistent and fair practices in the workplace. Whereas the Peru Town Board has decided to update this document to ensure compliance with employment regulations, improve employee communications, and create consistency in policy application. Now therefore, whereas this clause shall be added to section 204-A of the employee handbook, part-time seasonal junior employee. For purposes of this employee handbook, a part-time seasonal junior employee will mean an employee who is scheduled to work less than 60 hours total for the season and who is 21 years of age or under, age being measured at the end of the calendar year of employment. For purposes of this employee handbook, a part-time seasonal junior employee will not be subject to the town's nepotism rules as long as no other non-family related part-time seasonal junior employees applies for the said position, close quote. Now therefore be resolved that the town board adopts the town of Peru employee handbook provision on June 26, 2023, and be further resolved this resolution should take effect immediately.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Matt.
Good, accepts. Public comments on agenda items only. Anyone? Okay. Not, I need a motion and a second to pay the June 2023 bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims bills and invoices in the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims bills and invoices for services rendered to justified to the town in June 2023 from town approved vouchers in June 2023, number 2023-00822, through including number 2023-00930, abstract dated 6/21/23 for the dollar amount totaling $178,516.56. Of that, $16,470.72 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid. $162,045.82 as remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form of equal amount, now therefore be resolved. The payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment, and being further resolved, this resolution will take effect immediately.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Bruno? Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Yes.
So you gave him the barber.
Need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make it.
Jim Douglas,
Second.
Rick, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.